Philadelphia Eagles are losing the top exec in the front office this year. I don't think it's nothing to be concerned about. We'll talk about it in a second. And, everybody in the atmosphere thinks they know who the Philadelphia Eagles are going to draft in this year's draft. Let's keep it 100, man. You don't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? This Hassan Reddick thing is getting crazier and crazier by the day. The anticipation is mounting. Let's get into it. Yo, man, Lil Brunson back at you with the back at you, and I am the best reporting on the Eagles, man. So let's talk about it real quick. So the Philadelphia Eagles lose, you know what I mean, an important guy in the front office, apparently. A lot of people didn't know about Jake Rosenberg, assistant under Howie Roseman for some years now. And, I like when guys go out there and try to be their own, man. This is just a pure testament of this right there. Howie Roseman is entrenched in Philly, man. And if you're the guy under Howie Roseman, you're never going to become a general manager. I mean, this is Ski Mask Howie's town. It just is what it is. So, after the draft, he decided to, part ways and go out there and find his own way. Now, if you can't get Howie Roseman, I guess a lot of people would actually settle for the guy under Howie Roseman. That just makes all the sense in the world. So I could see him landing a job for real. You know what I mean? Being around Howie, people are expecting him to have soaked up some game. And I'm expecting Howie Roseman to have soaked up some game from that guy as well. So we're just going to see how that one play out for sure. But, I think it's definitely going to play out in the favor of Mr. Rosenberg because, listen, man, when you're around Howie like that, man, only good things could come from the situation. So, we're going to keep our eyes glued to the streets on that one. Now, I will say this for the Philadelphia Eagles. As long as you got Howie, you good. You know what I mean? You ain't lose Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman at the top of the food chain. Howie Roseman has meticulously been ahead of every GM in managing cap space for the last 5 years in the National Football League. And we got to applaud Howie Roseman for those efforts. And, when you got a GM as good as Howie Roseman, the understudies of him, the guys under him, will always benefit from different opportunities around the National Football League. So, salute to Mr. Rosenberg. I think you're going to be straight for sure. Now, let's get into this Philadelphia Eagles draft and all of these crazy mocks that's going on right now. Like, nobody knows what's going to happen on draft day. No content creator knows. Nobody from NBC, nobody from ABC. Nobody from the FBI. Nobody knows what's going to happen. I'm seeing crazy mock drafts that has the Georgia offensive lineman being the guy at 22 for the Philadelphia Eagles. People think we rebuild the trenches there. I saw the center, from Oregon out there. You know what I mean? I've seen everything. I've seen tight ends being mocked to the Philadelphia Eagles. Wide receivers. This is what we have to understand, ladies and gentlemen. The Philadelphia Eagles are a different organization than what they were 2 years ago. You know what I mean? You very well could see a tight end being taken off the board by the Philadelphia Eagles in the first round. You really could see another wide receiver being taken off of the board by the Philadelphia Eagles, even though you have two #1 wide receivers. You know what I mean? That guy McConkley from Georgia, you know what I mean? He's heavily growing on me because I see Julian Edelman vibes out of that guy in the slot in the right situation. You could very well see the Philadelphia Eagles do that. But what have the Philadelphia Eagles historically done? They've taken defensive linemen or they've taken offensive tackles. You could really see a linebacker this year in this year's draft. So you never know what you're going to get from the Philadelphia Eagles, man. They have so many pieces in place that they could really go strengthen any position with the 22nd pick in this draft. You know what I mean? A lot of things won't be a reach. Is Edgerrin Cooper a reach? Is he a reach? He's not a reach. Our GM is so good that we have valuable players that are on a trade block. Unfortunately, guys like Hassan Reddick and things of that nature could be packaged up to bring a Buda Baker to Philly. You know what I mean? The ball is in the Philadelphia Eagles court. It's always been in the Philadelphia Eagles court because we have a guy like Howie Roseman. So, I wouldn't feed too much into any rumors or any mocks that say the Eagles are going to do this. This is what you got to understand. The Eagles are one of the most unpredictable teams in the National Football League come draft time. They are. Nobody expected us to pay Saquon Barkley. That's not things that we do. We don't pay running backs that much money with that much time in the league. We value them as a special player. We're trying to go after something. That's why you get these type of moves out of the Philadelphia Eagles, man. When you look around the landscape of the NFC East and the NFC just in general, you see a lot of people making good moves. And you also see a lot of people in salary cap hell, like the Dallas Cowboys, man. They are in a bad situation. We just fortunate, you know what I'm saying? They got to talk about 5 rings this and 5 rings that. You know what I'm saying? They best player, Michael Parsons, is continuously being chastised by the media because he'd rather be a content creator than be on the football field letting everybody know the work that he put in. You know what I mean? And this ain't no shot at Michael Parsons and stuff like that, but we don't have to deal with that this offseason, y'all. That ain't been our life. That has not been our life. The life of a Philadelphia Eagles fan is one knowing that your front office is going to make the necessary moves to make sure your organization stay afloat. You know what I'm saying? We might not win it all. You can't win it all every season, but all you could do is give your team a chance. You know what I'm saying? Some great advice for the Philadelphia Eagles that I saw on Bleacher Report was, the pieces are in place. Focus on mindset. Let's focus on mindset and let's focus on getting back to a winning nature. That's all we got to do. We don't got to go look for no quarterback. We ain't got to look for no wide receiver. We ain't got to look for no offensive line. We ain't got to look for no defensive line. We don't need a running back. You know what I'm saying? We need a couple pieces here and there. We got to tighten some things up. But let's focus on mindset. Let's focus on having the winning attitude. You know what I mean? Let's bring back that. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about bring it back like we ain't been to the playoffs in 12 years. It's not our life, y'all. 11-6 is a down year for us. It's a down year for us. So come draft day, don't be upset by a name that you don't recognize or a name that you don't want to be called. You know what I mean? Don't be upset. We had a tremendous free agency. You know what I'm saying? We look to the right and look to the left of us in our division. We're doing better than everybody else in the division. The Commanders need a quarterback. Yeah, they signed a lot of people. They had a lot of bread. Players going to go where the money at. That's not a winning culture, though. They don't even have a quarterback. And they're not going to get the best quarterback in this year's draft. They not. Let's look at the New York Giants. Don't have a quarterback or a running back. Ha, ha, ha. We took that. Let's look at the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott about to get paid $60 million a year. They have no money to make no moves. They're last in salary cap. Cap hell over there. But they claimed that was going to be us. Then you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, man. We always sitting pretty. We always sitting high. You know what I'm saying? We always sitting high, man. This week, man, what's coming is the draft board. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing a draft board. I'm doing my top 10 prospects that I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles should target. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you keep your eyes out for that one because you do not want to miss that video. I also got some footage of my man Teldrick Ross at his pro day. He was out there cooking. You know what I'm saying? Looking like a stud. I pray to God that guy get drafted, man, because he got the heart of a lion, the heart of a champion. You know what I mean? So make sure you keep your ears glued, your eyes glued to what's coming up with my big board. Is going down tomorrow around 1 o'clock-ish. The big board is dropping. So, yeah, man, we're not going to let, fly Eagles fly.